Hello, dear friends. Let us continue our talk about hazard analysis critical control point, HACCP, which is a food safety management system related to infection control chapter of quality standards. In this video, we will talk about personal hygiene. For more videos, please visit my Facebook page, Healthcare Quality, and my YouTube channel, Dr. Hassan Kamel. This is the sixth of a series of 12 videos about HACCP. Food handlers have a moral and legal responsibility to observe high standards of personal hygiene to ensure that they do not contaminate food. They should keep themselves scrupulously clean, and a daily shower is recommended. Bad practices of food handlers may result in the contamination of high-risk food with food poisoning organisms. Furthermore, they are responsible for a significant number of foreign body hazards. Hands and skin. Hands must be kept very clean at all times. The correct hand washing procedure is essential. A non-hand operated warm water spray is preferred. The hands should be rinsed thoroughly in warm running water to remove all the other bacteria and dirt. Efficient drying of the hands with clean disposable paper towels is essential and will reduce the number of bacteria remaining. A paper towel may be used to turn off tapes. Reusable towels should not be used. Food handlers must wash their hands regularly throughout the working day, and especially 1. After visiting the toilet, 2. On entering the food room after a break and before handling any food, 3. After putting on or changing a dressing, 4. After dealing with an ill customer or baby's nappy, 5. After handling raw food, including eggs, and before handling ready-to-eat food, 6. After cleaning up animal feces or handling boxes contaminated by bird droppings, 7. After combing or touching the hair, face, nose, mouth, or ears, 8. After handling waste food or refuse, 9. After cleaning or handling dirty clothes, crockery, etc. And 10. After handling external packaging, flowers, or money. As fingernails may harbor bacteria, they must be kept short and clean. Nail varnish and false fingernails may contaminate food and should not be used. People who continually put their fingers in their mouths, for example nail bitters, should not be employed as food handlers. Licking the fingers before picking up sheets of wrapping paper is a particularly bad habit. The nose, mouth, and ears. Coughs and sneezes can carry droplet infection for a considerable distance, and persons with bad colds should not handle open food. Picking or scratching the nose is not acceptable. Sleeves should never be used for wiping the nose. As the mouth is likely to harbor staphylococci, food handlers should not eat sweets, chew gums, taste food with a finger or an unwashed spoon, or blow into glasses to polish them. Spitting can obviously result in food contamination and is illegal. Discharges from ears, eyes, and nose may contaminate food, and employee must report their ailments to their supervisor. Medical clearance to start work will normally be required. Cuts, boils, whitlows, and septic spots. These lesions should be completely covered by waterproof dressings, preferably colored blue or green, to aid detection if they become detached. Dressing should be replaced immediately they become loose. Cuts on fingers may need the extra protection of waterproof fingers towels. Some plasters contain a metal strip so that if they fall off, they can be removed by a metal detection system. Jewelry and perfume. Food handlers should not wear earrings, watches, jeweled rings, or brooches as they harbor dirt and bacteria. Furthermore, stones and small pieces of metal may end up in the food and result in a customer complaint. Food handlers should not use strong smelling perfumes or aftershave, as it may taint foods, especially those with high fat content. The hair. Hair is constantly falling out and, along with dandruff, can result in contamination of food. Furthermore, the scalp often contains harmful bacteria and must be shampooed regularly. Food handlers should wear suitable head covering which completely encloses the hair. Hair nets worn under turbans, helmets, and hats are recommended and should always be put on before protective clothing. Combing of hair and adjustments to head covering should only take place in cloakrooms and should not be carried out whilst wearing protective clothing, as hairs may end up on the shoulders and then in the product. Smoking. It's illegal to expose food to risk of contamination by smoking in food rooms or whilst handling open food. Not only is this to prevent cigarette ends and ash contaminated food, but also because people touch their lips whilst smoking and they may transfer harmful bacteria to food. Smoking encourages coughing and droplet infection. Cigarette ends contaminated with saliva are placed on working surfaces. An unpleasant environment may be created for non-smokers. Protective clothing. Food handlers must wear clean and washable over clothing, preferably light colored without external pockets. Press studs or Velcro fastening are preferable to buttons. Protective garments should be appropriate for the work being carried out and should completely cover ordinary clothing. Sleeves of jumpers and shirts must not protrude, and if short-sleeved overalls are worn, only clean forearms must be visible. Suitable footwear should be worn to prevent slipping and to protect the feet. Staff must be aware that protective clothing is worn to protect the food from the risk of contamination and not to keep their own clothes clean. Dust, bit hairs, and woolen fibers are just a few of the contaminants carried on ordinary clothing. Protective clothing should not be worn outside the food premises, not used to travel to and from work, and not worn during lunchtime sporting activities such as football. Protective clothing should not be hung in sanitary accommodation. Hands should not be wiped on protective clothing, especially after handling raw meat or poultry. Protective clothing should be removed when visiting the toilet. Even when wearing protective clothing, food handlers should not sit on preparation surfaces. This is particularly important for food handlers involved with high-risk food preparation. General health and reporting of illness. Any food handler suffering from vomiting, diarrhea, or a foodborne infection must not handle food. They must notify their supervisor, who must exclude them from any work which would expose food to risk from pathogens. Food handlers who have consumed a meal known to have caused food poisoning or live in the same household as a confirmed case or have suffered from diarrhea or vomiting whilst abroad should also report to the supervisor, who will probably require them to visit the doctor. Food handlers who excrete food poisoning organisms or with skin infections, infected cuts, boils, heavy colds, and ear or eye discharge must be excluded and should not resume food handling duties without clearance. Even a boil on the leg may result in a hazard if, for example, a dressing is changed and hands are not washed properly. Thank you.